Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to the Early Edge. I see everybody in the chat already. I see you, Nick Castrucci, Eric, David, Kylie Reynolds. Buckets? Buckets is in the chat. Does that mean he's not on the show? I guess we'll have to wait to find out. Let's take a look at the recap screen before we get into it. The sniper helping us out, but this is not a good day. I went 1 for 2, but overall, a little bit too much of an investment on the Minnesota Timberwolves. That brings us to 3 and 5 on the night. Gotta do better than that. And we're going to do it today with you all. Put your picks in the chat and hit the like button if you could. But you know how we do it on Friday. We're going to add a little bit of something every Friday going forward, but it's always going to be Big Pick Energy Friday.
Woo! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Buckets, I appreciate your versatility because you're in the chat. You're on the show. I see Danny Brasco with the shadow boxing, so that means we must have a big UFC 302 card. I'm not even sure we need it today, Chip Patterson, but I don't know. What the heck? How about chip me up?
Good morning, Sia. Good morning, Danny. Good morning, Buckets. Good morning, Snake. Good morning, Early Edge fam. I got that battery in your back, ready to get you going here for a big old weekend.
I absolutely love it. Buckets can hardly contain himself. Same with everybody in the chat. David Talk, happy Friday. Right back to you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the official picks, and this is going to be mostly Danny Brasco, you and me thing, but I'm going to kick it to Chip and Buckets too. We're going to debut a Futures Friday episode today, and we're just going to talk some NFC, AFC division winners for the next, 8 Fridays to kick off the show. We'll be quick, but this is interesting, and sometimes you can grab a good line early. Let's talk, Danny Brasco, about the NFC East division winners. We got the Eagles at the top. We got the Cowboys right behind them. Surprisingly, I thought they'd be a little longer. And then, of course, speaking of long, the Washington Commanders, my Washington Commanders at plus 900. Got to be honest, I'm happy they're in third place here. And the New York Football Giants at plus 1,000. Whatever you like, forget about who's going to win the division. Where's the value in the chat?
Let's go, Danny. Get your Giants up.
Yeah, exactly. I want you to put in who you like in terms of what you would take here. Danny Brasco, I know you're a Giants fan. I can't imagine you're picking the Giants to win the NFC East, though.
No, I was going to do the whole NFL draft thing. Like, I'm going with the New York Giants. See, but I just cannot do that. The current status of the team looks very shaky. Obviously, I like the draft pick and Neighbors, but I'm not looking at them to win the division at plus 1,000. This is our division, right? You're a Commanders guy, I'm a Giants guy, and it stinks to have to say this, but oh my goodness, look at the star-studded cast on the Philadelphia Eagles. They took my sweet prince, Saquon Barkley, and you put him behind that offensive line with that kind of dual threat quarterback and Hurts. I mean, the combo attack, the option plays, who's stopping them, Sia? How can I not look at on first impressions, look at the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, this is a process of elimination play. And by the way, Moshe says value may be in Washington. I mean, I love the take, and I love the plus 900, if I'm being honest. We don't exactly know what's coming from Jaden Daniels, but I'm probably going with the Eagles. Process of elimination here. The Cowboys did very little to upgrade. I like what the Eagles did with the coaching staff and upgrading at the DC position, but I think the Saquon Barkley thing is very understated. This Philadelphia Eagles offense is likely, even without Jason Kelce, some guys missing, is likely to be very good. I love the plus 120 here because I just don't think the Cowboys are very good. I don't like what their offseason was, and this is one of those situations where it feels like it's an either or as opposed to 104 options. This is one of the few divisions where it's very unlikely that the Giants or Washington make an impact. Before I go to Chip Patterson, Buckets, I got to ask you. I know you're not a big NFL guy, but you see these numbers. You see the art depicted via the mascots. Is there a direction you're headed in this one?
Oh, Sia, it's so hard sometimes being me because people tell me all the time, Buckets, I can't tell if you're doing a bit or if you genuinely don't know this. And when it comes to the NFL, I genuinely don't know anything. So let me ask you this first. I Googled New York Giants best players, and the first one to come up was Eli Manning. Does he still even play?
Oh, boy. No, but to your point, this is interesting. He may be the best quarterback option on the roster if he were on the roster right now.
Okay, I'm going to go with Eagles. I'm just going to stick with you guys and hide there because that sounds like the right move. Go Eagles, baby.
Go Eagles, baby. All right, that's 3 for 3. Chip Patterson, I know you're more college football than you are NFL. Do you have a take here?
Yeah, I do. And it's really more of a principle. I am a man of principle. And if you are going, Eagles is a smart play, but that is plus 120, which if you were to invest it here on May 31st, you're handing that over and you're waiting for what? Like what you would take if you just take them in one game? No. That's not how we play futures, baby. You just want to lay a little sprinkle down. You take it on Washington. You take it on the Heisman Trophy winner, and you take it on Jaden Daniels having a rookie of the year caliber season. Because again, Philadelphia is going to win a lot of games. But if you're sweating a division future and the win's only going to be plus 120, wouldn't you rather just bet Philadelphia to win the game that would win them the division at the end and not have to hand that money over for all those months? I mean, you don't even earn interest on that. So in this position, if I'm making this pick here at this point, yeah, I'm going to go Washington and go with the Flyer.
Yeah, Matt says Washington as well. Listen, it's interesting. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the RG3 experience in 2012. If Jaden Daniels can kind of replicate some of that magic, I absolutely love his game. I think he was the best quarterback in the class above Caleb Williams. That was really my take all college football season. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I love Jaden Daniels at Washington. So I like the sprinkle on Washington at plus 900. I don't hate that one at all. If I had to put something down right now, it would be on the Eagles at plus 120. All right, Buckets. We got your Eagles take. It was fascinating. The Eli Manning take. Absolutely love it. But what people really want is the soccer take. So you got a couple plays on the pitch for us.
I got a couple plays, and there are a couple weird plays, so bear with me here. We're going to start with the Swiss Super League relegation playoff battle between FC Thun and the Grasshoppers. Grasshopper Club Zurich, to be more precise. And we're taking FC Thun on the draw no bet. This is a style of relegation battle in which you play two legs, and each team gets to play at home. Grasshopper, who are on paper are the better team, played at home, and they looked terrible. They were lucky to get the 1-1 draw in that first leg, and now they have to travel to Thun, a team that is incredibly hard to beat at home, and try to produce a result. And I think best case scenario for Grasshopper, they end up getting a draw here and taking it to extra time. So the fact that I can get my safety bet or safety net with draw no bet at minus 120 is something I will take every single time for who I believe is the better team and the team that will win this outright. Then for my second play, we're going to the Ireland First Division, which is the second flight or second tier of Irish football. And we're looking at the matchup between UCD and Bray Wanderers. And we're keeping this one simple. We're keeping this one sexy. We're keeping the classic both teams to score priced at minus 120. If you look at these two teams, these are the absolute pinnacle of great offenses and horrible defenses. UCD and Bray Wanderers have both scored in 14 of their last 15 matches in league play here. They are two of the best offenses, and it's not even close in this league, but defense has been on the back burner in recent weeks. Sometimes you just got to look at the numbers and say that I believe this should be minus 180. So the fact that it's minus 120 means that I'm backing some Irish high-scoring action here this afternoon, Sia.
All right, absolutely love it. We're going classic with the plays on the pitch. Let's go to a sports line pick next. We're going to the NHL playoffs. We're going to the Dallas Stars. Money line minus 130 tonight. This one is at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's game 5. Again, Oilers. Excuse me, not the Oilers, the Stars. Wow, I just reversed it. Maybe I just jinxed the bet here. It's the Dallas Stars, if you're listening on the podcast. Money line minus 130. By the way, A-Mags is in the chat. He says, love the Eli Manning reference. Even if Sia did take a shot at my G-Men, Buckets, Eli is the greatest to ever do it. Buckets, can I tell you something? That is the definition of sarcasm. Definitely not the greatest to ever do it. Perhaps his brother is in that conversation, Peyton Manning. Buckets, have you heard of Peyton Manning?
I have. I grew up in Indiana, so I didn't really have a choice in hearing about him.
All right.
And I went to college at University of Tennessee in Knoxville, so I got hit with that double Peyton Manning kind of in my life.
Whoa! I'm sorry. You went to Tennessee and you don't know anything about college football?
I went to Tennessee for 3 years, and I did not go to a single Volunteers football game while I was there. It just wasn't on my radar.
You didn't go down to the Vol Navy. You didn't go to Calhoun's. You didn't take part in the explosion that happens every single weekend when Bama's in town for the third Saturday in October, when you've got those huge showdowns against Florida or Georgia. It just didn't get the blood boiling?
No, I was there when Butch Jones first showed up, though, and everyone was like, "He's the savior for this program. He's going to do great things." And then we were terrible for both years.
He had a turnover trash can. Y'all remember the turnover trash can? Like,
I don't.
The turnover belt, the turnover spikes. They would come back after getting an interception and dunk it in a trash can. It was not creative at all and very indicative of the Butch Jones experience.
Trip down memory lane via Buckets and Chip Patterson. That was actually kind of fun. I want to clip that. All right, if you want to take that Dallas Stars bet, by the way, you can do it at BetMGM. New BetMGM customers can sign up today and get up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Just place your first wager of at least $10, and you'll receive up to $1,500 instantly if your bet loses with bonus code EDGE. That's bonus code EDGE, EDGE. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to get to Danny Brasco's picks because he's been shadow boxing. I know this UFC 302 card is a pretty good one. I've heard through the grapevine. I've been doing a little bit of homework, Danny Brasco. Maybe I'm going to start handicapping this sport too, but you're the man here, and we're going to get to your picks right after this message from our partners.
The Champions League final. This is as big as it gets. The kings of the Champions League.
Dortmund are into the final.
Ain't gonna stop me now. This is the final round.
All his dreams coming true.
Dortmund versus Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League final on CBS and streaming live on Paramount+.
We are back on the early edge presented by BetMGM. By the way, speaking of cold takes, because if you're watching on YouTube, Bucket's doing the cold sign. I'm really not going to ever break down UFC, Danny. You've got nothing to worry about. I did have a conversation with somebody about the card, though, so now I think I'm an expert, but really, you're the expert. You got a few picks for us for UFC 302. What are they?
Man, Sia got me hyped. I thought he was coming into the octagon with me and Buckets. I see you over here, Buckets, slipping and ripping big time here. I'm excited to see. Maybe I saw Showdown Challenge in the chat. I saw a lot of opinions in the chat. Of course, really hyped up card, so let's get right to it. And I'll start in the main event. I'm going to satisfy two different viewers in the chat who put their picks in because I'm betting this main event in two different ways, and they're against each other. For the lightweight title, on the line is Islam Makhachev looking to defend his belt as a dominant champion, taking on Dustin the Diamond Poirier, a UFC fan favorite, looking to really solidify his legacy and finally take that belt that's eluded him for so long. And man, the most likely outcome in my mind's eye is Islam Makhachev by submission at plus 100. The grappling game is just too good. It's legendary. Guess who's going to be in his corner? His teacher. The guy he's the prodigy of is Khabib Nurmagomedov. The eagle has landed. And with Khabib in your corner and coaching you, I mean, he's going to be at his peak form. Now, I will cast some doubt. I'm not a doctor, but there's some speculation that Islam Makhachev has been dealing with a staph infection based on some pictures that appeared in his training camp. And we saw Benoit Saint-Denis, Dustin Poirier's last opponent, only have one round of cardio due to staph infection. It's really affected some UFC fighters. Now, it's not always going to drain your gas tank like it did to Benoit Saint-Denis, but it's a factor on the table there. So if Poirier forces him to box, and if Islam is compromised in some manner due to that, then the knockout is live, guys. And I'll also sprinkle a quarter unit on Poirier by KO at plus 700. The southpaw boxing, if he finds that right hook on the button, it's very possible. And I'll just be sitting back and kind of rooting. Lower risk in this fight. Half unit on Islam by sub, quarter unit on Poirier by knockout. But I'll be rooting for the diamond to find that legacy shot, find the knockout, and cash a big plus 700 ticket. So that's how I'm attacking the main event. In the co-main event of the evening, guys, it's my underdog of the week. And I saw my guy Glenn Gippy in the comments. I will take your showdown, sir. I like Paulo Costa at plus 210, man. I think this is his moment here, and he's going to seize the opportunity against Sean Strickland. Now, of course, Strickland was just the champion. He was in a razor-close fight against Dricus du Plessis that he lost. Some feel he controversially may have won. But Strickland's game is that Philly shell, jab, jab, jab you to death, pressure boxing, stay in your face, use his cardio and use his toughness. And I'm not sure he has the cardio and toughness edges in this fight against Paulo Costa, a guy that has a granite chin and I think remains underrated. He's finally active. He just fought Robert Whittaker 3 months ago. Normally, Costa takes a lot of time off in between fights, but he's here. He's ready to really seize his potential. He's a physical specimen. And I think if he lands the left hook around that Philly shell guard that stays low, if Strickland fails to roll that punch, which he likes to do, kind of parry and roll, shoulder roll punches, Costa could find power shots over the top. I think big moments could win this fight, and he ends up maybe even stealing a decision that goes the whole way. So I like Paulo Costa, who I think remains underrated. And finally, I'll close it out with a great fight. Featured prelim of the night, guys. It's Cesar Almeida taking on Roman Kopylov. Kickboxer's delight here. Cesar Almeida, best known for his 3 fights against Alex Poatan Pereira, the light heavyweight champion. 3 fights in a kickboxing bout outside the UFC. Guess what? He's 1-2 against the guy that's arguably the best in the sport right now. And he's a razor-sharp striker. He's got great low kicks, good hooks to the body. Kopylov is a really good kickboxer himself. He's got some highlight knockouts in the UFC, but he's faced grapplers so far. So maybe his knockouts are over caliber opponents that can't quite match him in the striking department. I think Almeida will do that and will outpoint him to a win in the kickboxing game on UFC 302. And I'm really looking forward to this card in Newark, New Jersey, Prudential Center. East Coast, stand up, baby. It's going to be an electric night.
Brasco, I got to follow up with you because, first of all, that was incredible. But I got to follow up with you because you did just mention Gipper's picks and a potential showdown. But before you even say yes to that, I mean, are you just going to take the plus 210 guy and pretend that like it's an even showdown? Like, what are we doing here?
You know that I attack plus money on the show, Sia. It's a fight, right? Anything can happen. I like the plus money side here, especially in a fight like this. So I will go even money here. I mean, I really like Costa's opportunity here. I want to make a bold pick. And I think he's being slept on by the odds makers. So Gippers, I know he's taking it. If we'll make it formal, we can do the whole song and dance. Snake, hit that funky tune, my friend.
It's gonna be a showdown.
Well, there you have it. There you have it, Gippers picks. We've got a showdown. Buckets, you're laughing. What are we laughing at exactly?
Nothing. The funky tune was something I wasn't ready to hear Danny Brasco say. I do want to say, because I know that everyone in the chat is going to ask me if I'm going to show down Danny. I am not, because unfortunately, I agree with all 3 of his takes. And Danny, I'm just letting you know now, I sprinkled Costa by TKO or KO in the 2nd round at plus 1,400. I'm just going off a little bit here, but I think Costa's taking him down.
I love it. And look, man, one more thing I want to say about that fight is Strickland has lost to guys that can move forward and put him on his back foot. Strickland's a guy that likes to stay in your face, right? But if you can put him on the back foot, Costa mixes up his attack, the body kicks, the low kicks. Jared Cannonier beat Sean Strickland just by moving forward in a close decision. So if Costa can move forward buckets, I think he has a chance to find that knockout. That left hook and that kick might be coming. The spinning wheel kick? Oh, baby, I'm excited for this card.
Chip, you know a little bit about UFC. I don't. I'm just I got my hands up in the air a little bit. Are you in on any of this?
Oh, I support the enthusiasm that our friends and colleagues have. I don't have, you got to forget something to remember something. And as I'm pulling out all these random stats and facts, I don't have the room for something else. Yeah. You got to understand strengths and weaknesses. And so that's why I enthusiastically cheer and occasionally tail Danny Brasco, but I got nothing.
All right. I love it. James Murphy says, well, if nothing else, this fight will be exciting. And by the way, James Valdez said, every time Danny Brasco is talking, I learn something, which is a pretty cool thing to say, Mr. Valdez. All right, let's go to my picks. I'll run through them real quick. So I've got a baseball play and I've got a golf play. We're going to go to the Royals-Padres game. We've got Cease and Walker on the mound. Now, I'm on the first 5 under here of 4. Now, the only place you're going to find 4, a flat 4, as opposed to a 4.5 or a 3.5, is BetMGM. BetMGM is really good about giving you each half of run when it comes to total run. So if you wanted to play this and you're only getting the 4.5, you can take the under there, but unfortunately, you're going to be paying like minus 140, minus 145. So that's really up to you whether you want to pay that juice. I certainly love the under there, but I'm going to take the minus or the under 4 because it's minus 110 over at BetMGM. Listen, Cease has been knocked around a little bit over the last few games, and the Kansas City bats are just nothing to look at and say, hey, like we know these bats are good, particularly against righties. But still, I think Cease is sort of in bounce back mode, right? I think we're going to see him start to improve. He's been pretty good overall this season, but the last few games have been a little bit of a watch out. But Waka's been very, very good. And I'm not super intimidated by these San Diego Padres bats. So I'm taking the first 5 under here of 4. Again, 4.5 I absolutely love, but you're just going to have to pay some juice. Up to you whether you want to play that. But again, at BetMGM, you've got the 4 at minus 110. We're playing the push there. And then I'm going to go to a round 2 head-to-head. Now, I'll be honest, I've been a little cold in these round matchups over the last few weeks. And I have a play earlier this morning that maybe a couple of people are on. I'm losing that one too. This one I definitely like, though. I mean, listen, I like them all. I'm just telling you, like the first round leader thing that happened to me yesterday, I just like anything that can go wrong will go wrong, including a 47-foot putt to knock Sam Burns out of first round leader contention. I'm taking Taylor Pendrith minus 115 over Nick Taylor. Watched both of these guys yesterday. Nick Taylor just seems off. They're both Canadians. They're both extremely pumped to win or to be competitive here. But Nick Taylor's game over pretty much 2024 has been a little bit off. Taylor Pendrith played pretty well yesterday. It was a little erratic, but I like his game for this course. He's a monster off the tee, and he can really get hot with the putter. That's what I'm looking for. I like this minus 115 over Nick Taylor. Now, you can find this over at DraftKings. Just promote at BetMGM, but this particular play is most likely at I know it's at DraftKings. I don't know if it's anywhere else. So if you have something that includes Taylor Pendrith or maybe a fade on Nick Taylor, maybe you can message me, put it in the chat. I'll let you know if I like it. Round 2 head-to-head, Taylor Pendrith over Nick Taylor. All right, Chip Patterson.
Yep.
I just admitted it. Listen, I've been a little cold in the golf streets here. You, on the other hand, not so much. You've got a 3-ball that I'm a fan of here, which could be a good or a bad thing at this point. What's your play this afternoon?
Well, Sia, remember, all I had to do was invoke Curtis Mayfield to keep on pushing. And to break through my play, I'd push. I just kept pushing all these golf bets. Finally, all it took was a mean old thing in red and black. Sepp Straka broke down the wall, and we finally got a win. So let's keep that thing rolling. Okay, we are going to attack Chez Reavie plus 160 over Matt Kuchar and Camilo Villegas. This is a 12:44 p.m. Eastern time, tea time. For those of you listening on the podcast side, you should still have some good time to be able to get this wager in. So let's look at round 1, where Chez Reavie was top 20 tee to green, top 25 on approach. He just had 2 really bad holes with the putter. And if he cleans that up, if he's even just average to the field, this 69 could have been a 67. He was 1 under yesterday. We think he left a little bit more out there. But let's also look at the other side of this, because where's Matt Kuchar in this championship? Lost 5 over par. Where's Camilo? Lost 5 over par. And as we're starting to look at the cut line, you always have to think about those motivations, because yes, either one of them has to go into today thinking, gotta go low. But that can also burn you on the other side. They're going to be starting on the 10th hole. I could see that aggressiveness leading to some bogeys and leading to them kind of ejecting along the way. Currently, the models project that our cut is either going to be at, 1 under, even par, +1. So do you expect either one of these two to be able to go so low that they can get themselves to the right side of the cut line, especially starting out on that back 9? I do not. So I love the plus money here. I think that his game was pretty good outside of a couple holes on the green. So let's look for Kuchar and Villegas to eject and Chez Reavie to make it onto the weekend.
I love this number. And Chez Reavie's game, I think, is a good fit for this course. We know the plotter type can actually succeed at this course. Part of the reason a lot of people liked Bryce Garnett, for example. So plus 160, I absolutely love. And by the way, Snug the Cat has a funny comment for you, Chip, before we go to the recap screen. Says, if someone wins a showdown with Chip, instead of money, could one select a night of karaoke and Red Bulls and vodka with Chip?
If I tried to have a night of Red Bulls and vodka at this point, I think my heart would explode. I had my time where, ordering the RBV was the play, right? Just to keep it going deep into the night. I fear for my cardiovascular health if I still tried to, regain that dog that I had in my 20s when I was taking it deeper than I do now as an older father of 2 young children.
Absolutely love it. Listen, we have before we get to the recap soon, we have some questions. Gregory Hill says, Sia, I've got Pendrith over Højgaard. I do like that. I do like Pendrith over Højgaard. There was one other one with Pendrith over Daniel Berger at minus 130. I like that. I'm not in love with it, but that's certainly a lean. By the way, my play, if you're looking on DK, go to group matchups. If you go to group matchups and you scroll down, again, that's going to be on, you'll see 18-hole matchups, you'll see group matchups, you'll see round 3 balls. Go to group matchups. You'll see a very wide selection of different matchups you can take. My matchup is under there, but I do lean towards both of those directions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the recap screen before we get out of here on BPE Friday. FC Thune DNB -120. That's Bucket's pick, along with UCD and Bray, both teams to score -120. I've got the Royals Padres first 5 under a 4 -110, and Taylor Pendrith -115 over Nick Taylor this afternoon. Chip Patterson, Shez Reavie at +160 over Matt Kuchar and Camilo Villegas. Danny Brasco, here we go. Makachev by submission at +100, but also a little play on Dustin Poirier by KO at +700. Listen to the analysis for that. And Costa, money line +210. We got a showdown with Gipper's picks. And Almeida, money line -115. I should say Caesar Almeida, because there's 2 Almeidas going on Saturday night. Money line -115 again. SportsLine pick tonight. Stars, money line -130. All right. David Talk says, Chip, nice pick last Friday. Thanks. Absolutely love that. We're going to try to make it a clean card today. We'll see what we can do. We got to bounce back from yesterday, and we did that the day before. So we'll have some good days, some bad days. Let's make BPE Friday a good day. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being a part of this show. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for all the questions and all the picks in the chat. On behalf of Chip Patterson, on behalf of Buckets and Danny Brasco, and of course, Jake the Snake on the 1s and 2s, it's Friday. Have a good one. I'm the Counselor of Cash. This is the Early Edge. We rest our case.